You've put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating a storefront that lights you up, serves your clients well, and contributes significantly to the community you love. You are my hero, and I affectionately call you a rebel woman. Hey there, my name is Melissa Rose, a brick-and-mortar business owner with a handful of kiddos and a few passion projects that I head up like this one. I'm also your visibility coach and consultant for a service-based business like yours. I'm passionate about helping small business owners thrive in their community and become the only option in town for their industry. In this podcast, we're going to share the nitty-gritty of running a successful brick-and-mortar business by sharing stories, talking strategies, and learning practical tips to run a kick-ass business. Ready to be inspired, empowered, and equipped to create the small business of your dreams? Let's get real.
Hey there, brick-and-mortar business owner. How are you? So good to be back as always. Today is part 2 of a series talking all about franchise visibility. The reason this came to be, this podcast, is because I was talking to a franchise owner who talked about getting more visible 40, 50 miles away from their zip code. They said when we Google ourselves or when people Google us within our zip code or right next to us, right near us, we come up super well. We have great SEO there. However, it's when we're further out. So what can we do? And he wasn't necessarily asking for advice, but of course that got my wheels turning. I thought of all the things that they could be doing. I wanted to ask what they were doing. But I also thought, you know what, this is a really great episode because a lot of us are not just pulling from our zip code, right? I know for my business, my brick and mortar business, I pull from 30 miles away. And how do we get people to see us from 30 miles away organically? Because let's be real, many of us don't have a lot of extra money to put behind ads for Google, for Facebook, for ads in directories and all the things. So how can we do this organically? And I'm a huge advocate of doing all things organically first because we want to see what's working. We want to see where we're getting results. We want to see where our ideal people are. So that's like the beginning stages. As you are doing this is what you need to pay attention to. And again, many of us don't pay attention to it because we're so frantically trying to do all the things. And I get it. I fully get it. But as you get clients coming in your doors, you need to be super intentional about tracking where they come from and knowing where your energy is being invested. Are you putting a lot of energy into social? And are they coming from social? I beg to differ, right? I bet a lot of you are putting a lot of energy into social media and it's not necessarily getting people in the door. It may vet them. It may be the, okay, all right, now I'll walk in the door, but they're probably finding you some other way. So what is that other way? And tracking that, paying attention to that, investing in that, whether it's people, it's your referral partners, or it's like actual money into ads, wherever that is. So this is something I get super excited about because I am super passionate about brick and mortar business owners. I don't care if you have a meat store or if you have a remodeling store or if you are a donut shop or a dance studio or a restaurant. I don't care. I care that you busted your ass to create a shingle, to invest in some property, into renting property, to create your service and product out of nothing. You did that out of nothing. And people saw value in it and they are paying you for that. And they are providing you a lifestyle to give back to the community. All right. And we know our thriving communities are only thriving because of small business. If we don't have businesses in the community doing well, our schools aren't doing well, the infrastructure isn't doing well, nobody wants to be in the community. So we are so vital, and that is why I'm so passionate. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Okay. All right. Today's episode is the final 3, and I have a bonus. Okay, so this is for franchise owners, because the reason this topic was brought up was because franchise owners don't necessarily have control over their marketing efforts. They have a lot of resources, and they have some limitations. So before we dive in, all of you, no matter who you are, franchise or independent, you should be able to take your your latest social post, something from the past week, and bring it over to your Google Business Profile. What do I mean by that? If you don't know what I mean by that, you need to grab my Google Business Profile workshop. It's about a 30-minute workshop. You can speed me up. I sound way smarter when you speed me up. And take the workshop. It's going to show exactly what you need to do. And because we're in January, this is a great time for all of us just to go back to our Google Business Profile and make sure it's optimized to our liking. Maybe you changed your store hours. Maybe you added a phone line. Maybe you now offer this service or product. Can you update that? And the reason we're doing that is because when people need your product or service, they need it now. They don't want it tomorrow. They don't want to have to search on social for it and look up hashtags. They want to Google it. They're Googling your product or service now because they need you now, and we need to be found. So this is the easiest way to do that, and it is free, completely free. It's free. This workshop is free from me to you. So go get it, grab it, and implement it. If this is brand new for you, it's going to take about 90 minutes of your time. I'm going to be honest. To do it right, do it right. And it's going to take about 90 minutes of your time. If you are going back to it, it's going to take maybe 20 minutes. You're going to go back over it, make sure everything's cool, looking good. And if you are updating it weekly, like I tell you every week here in the podcast, you probably have really great SEO. Okay? Now, we have great SEO locally. How are we going to get that local SEO to be excellent 40 miles away? How do we do that? So if you did not listen to last week's episode, please go do that. I talk about that a little bit there. It's a short episode. Otherwise, I didn't want these to get too long. So I'm trying to keep it into 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to dive into number 4, local citations and directories. All right. Now, this is where, yes, you could put a little money into some directories, mailers, magazines. You can also do this very organically. I love to be part of any raffle, any fundraiser, anything like that. And my staff knows that, yes, that's a yes. They don't even need to ask me. It gets me out in front of that area, those people that may not be in my zip code or in my 10-mile radius. They may be in a 30, 40-mile radius. Okay, so we want to make sure we are doing that across all directories. There's also like online directories like Nextdoor or referral places, online referral businesses, websites, directories that you can be. Are you in a chamber or are you in a networking group? Make sure that your content, this is a great time to do this, to make sure your content is current, because you may have joined the chamber 5 years ago. And in the meantime, you got a new phone number, your website has changed, and your store hours are different. Okay? So check all those places. Think about all those places that you have slowly added to your business profile or business visibility and they're kind of like drop and go, like meaning you don't have to like be there anymore. Like I'm just thinking right now, I'm in like 3 or 4 different directories that I'm like, I should probably go back and make sure everything is current and right. You don't realize the little things that you change. All right. And this is a great time to then maybe reintroduce yourself within that group. Maybe they have a Facebook group or page that you can say, oh my goodness, hello, I just wanted to check in, say hi, happy new year, or whatever makes sense for you. All right, our next one is number 5, which is collaborate with local businesses. I have done a few podcasts on collaborations because they have been so helpful for my personal business. For those of you that don't know, I have a dance studio, so I like to collaborate with nutritionists and physical therapists and chiropractors and things like that to offer a service to not only my students, but my families. You can create events. You can go into each other's stores or shops. You can also promote each other on your blogs or your newsletters. That's a great way to increase SEO and visibility. All right. So not just a social post, but when you can bring somebody and do a feature of that business on your website, it helps with their SEO because that's a backlink. And if you could do that vice versa, that's a really great way. So I would then, if you are really trying to get your SEO to go further out, find businesses that are 30 miles away. Do that and then do an event or collaboration in person. Okay, so you can do this digitally and in person. Okay, and many people don't think about the blog or the website doing that. All right, but that's a really strategic way to get your URL in front of more people. Okay, number 6, community involvement. I love this one. It's just so true to my heart. Like I kind of went on my soapbox at the top of the episode about we being the backbone of our community, and our community thrives if we thrive. And we are generous, y'all. I know you are, because you want to give and help and serve our community, okay? And we do that not only with our products and service, but then we're sponsoring things, and we're giving to sports teams and local charities and all the things. And that is a great way for our brand to get in front of more people. Now, I don't want you just giving money. I want you to make sure you are getting visibility. So how can you ask for this? And I have been more strategic with this as I've gotten older and wiser in my business. So many people just say, hey, could you give a gift card for some free lessons or, a session? Absolutely. No brainer. Absolutely. But here's what I would like you to do. And here's what you can ask. If you don't feel comfortable, you can ask for one of these things. But I would ask for them all. I would say, absolutely, we love to support our community. What I would ask in return, because we're giving you $150 free, okay, to help you with your fundraiser or whatever, I would ask that you write a Google review for us and give them the link. I would also ask that you do a social post and make sure you give them a graphic right away so that they can do a shout out for you. And then if they have programs or table tents or anything like that people can take with them to make sure that we're in there as well. Usually they will have a program, like for example, I'm thinking like if I'm sponsoring a musical or putting an ad in for the paper or the High School Musical. Of course I'll do that. Sure. Yes. And yes, I have it there. But could you also write a Google review for me, or could you do a social shout out as well? We have started doing that on our end when we ask businesses to support us. And it becomes a no-brainer for them, because they're like, oh my gosh, you're not only going to include us in the program, but you're going to put us on your website, which then creates a backlink for them, so it helps them with their SEO. And we're going to do a social post. Oh my gosh, wow. And then I could have gone and done a Google review for them too, but I didn't even think of that until I was just talking right now. So those are 4 things that you could ask for to make sure you're getting before you hand them over a check or free classes or free product, okay? So make sure you're giving, but you're also getting something in return there. And that's a really great way, especially if they're further out of your zip code, okay? All right, number 7, this is a bonus. And this one came up because I was talking to this business owner who's a franchise owner, and he said, we're going to start wrapping our vehicles. And I'm like, yes, you need to do that, because they are a service industry where they're doing remodels for people. Yes, you don't just want a plain old truck in front of somebody's property. You want it branded. You want to know who's doing the work. Neighbors are nosy. We want to know, oh, what's Susie doing next door? Oh, she's getting her bathroom done. Or, oh, they're putting on a roof. Or, oh, they're getting new siding. We need to know who's doing it. And then to be super intentional about signage, to that if your people can wear the merch, ball cap or polo or whatever it is, whatever makes sense for you. Now, I'm also thinking about my studio. I don't see this done as much anymore, so I bet it will swing back again. I'm working with a business coach that said it works until it doesn't work anymore. And then you have to change, and then the pendulum comes back the other way. My dad always says the pendulum will swing one way, and then you'll have to come back the other way. And so I am talking about Student of the Month. I used to see studio owners give a yard sign to their student to be highlighted as Student of the Month, and they would put that in their yard, and then the student would take a picture of it, and then they would post it on their social. Okay, so not only is it getting visibility in that neighborhood, in that zip code, but then they're taking a picture of it to then put on their social as well. And then, of course, probably tagging the family and all the things. So that, I mean, I'm just thinking for my business, but if you have a franchise or maybe like the wrapping of the car or the vehicle, I have gotten so much business because I have my logo on my vehicle. And people just see me out and about, zooming through on my broom, I say, bat out of hell driving all my 5 kids around. And we get business that way, all right? Oh, there's that dancing house lady. There she is. It's comical. Oh, are you the dancing house lady at my son's football games, Yep, I am. Hi, how are you? So what can you do to create that visibility? And even with your team members, as they're out and about in the community, they come into work, they leave work. Well, they're stopping at the gas station to get gas and grab a coffee. And, these are people, and the people who work for you don't necessarily live in your zip code. I know for my team members, they don't live in my zip code. They're outside, they're out and about. Some of them drive 40 miles into work. So how can we, just amplify our brand organically, simply by doing some things without adding more work to us, okay? Your team members are coming into work. Are they branded? Can they support you different ways? Okay, and this is another thing, back to our Google Business Profile, a little tip here. Gosh, there's just so many, right? Making sure your team members are leaving a Google review, all right? Because that is another great way to get that brand awareness from other zip codes, as well as a reflection of your culture and community inside the Google Business Profile, so that people are seeing, oh, not only are they put out great work, but they're great people to work with and for. Okay? All right. I am on a roll. I could go on forever. I love this stuff. As you can tell, I am super passionate about my brick and mortar business owners. I want you to succeed. I want you to thrive. I want 2024 to be the best year ever. The best year yet. Every year needs to be the best year yet. So if you got value out of here, please share it with your business bestie or screenshot it, put it on your stories, tagging me, Ms. Melissa Rose, and I will shout you out. I would love to hear from you. If you are wanting help, if you are feeling overwhelmed and going, I need help with anything, whether it's social media or that blog or a newsletter or even an email campaign or a text campaign, please go to msmelissarose.com/deals. You can click the 20-minute call and we can book a call and just get to know each other, find out what your needs and wants are, desires, goals, and see if working together is right for us. All right, y'all. I wish you the best week ever. And we'll see you here same time, same place next week. Peace. Bye-bye.